The Chief Executive Officer of Global Media Foundation, GLOMEF, Raphael Godlove Ahenu, in an interview with journalists in Sunyani, adding that this had led to the loss of economic opportunities such as cars, homes, and monies, amid others, due to poor urban management planning as well as government inability over the years of Metropolitan, Municipal and District Assemblies, MMDAs.
So, as an organization, Global Media Foundation, and we have interest in this area, we have this recommendation for government, what government need to do in order to address this flooding. We have to enforce building regulations without fear and favor, including the removal of structures
Thanks for watching KMTV.
that are stopping waterways. We need to be bold as a country. And I'm happy that government, President Mahama, said that we must remove all structures on waterways. So the demolition that is going on the Ramsaya site is the right thing to do. Even though people have invested their money by putting up buildings, but the question we need to ask ourselves is that place good for you to go and invest there? And when we are enforcing the building laws, we should not only pull down the infrastructure, but we should ask who gave them permit? Who are the person behind? Who gave the permit to that developer to go and develop that place? We should make sure that we bring those people to book. They must punish severely to serve as a deterrent to others, especially the assembly, the planning unit, those who give the permit to people to go and build.
Mr. Ahenu stressed that the lack of enforcement of laws, bylaws, and regulation by stakeholders, during which the needful needed to be done, accumulated with poor waste management practices, people dumping of garbages in drainages, inadequate investment of drainage systems.
They don't go there. They sit down in their office, they collect money and issue permit without fear and favor. Whether you are a chief, whether you are a billionaire, whether you are a politician, especially the politicians, we should apply the law. Now we need to protect wetlands and green spaces that serve as a natural flood buffer. That we need to protect those areas, wetlands. And this we must caution traditional authorities, those who sell land to developers. You go to Accra, somebody will say that this land belongs to the traditional council, and they will go and sell that land to a developer. And the developer will also develop that. But at the end of the day, when there is a problem, it is government who have to address those issues. You look at the flooding that is happening now. It's government who has established a fund to take care of the flood victims. But these traditional authorities who are selling land left and right without looking at the consequences, they are sitting down in their palaces enjoying. And the people who are suffering, and government who have to look for money to address all these issues, protect those wetlands and then green spaces that serve as a natural flood buffers. We need to do that. And then government need to invest in modern drainage system. I'm using the word modern drainage system, capable of handling increasing water volumes, which is very key. Government need to intentionally invest in modern drainage system capable of handling increased rainfall volumes. President Mahama says that if you look at that rainfall, the volume was so huge that you can't do anything about it. But what we need to do is that we need to invest in a modern drainage system that are capable of handling the increased rainfall values, volumes that we may have. So this is the recommendation that we have for government. And then there is the need for government to strengthen collaboration among local authorities, Ghana Meteorological Agency, Hydrological Authority, NADMO, and security services. We need to have that collaboration. We need to strengthen that relationship so that if traditional authorities are going to sell land, if district assemblies are going to give permit, NADMO, Meteorological Service Department, and the security agencies, we must all be involved to ensure that the right things are done. If we are able to do those things right, then definitely we'll be doing ourselves a favor by making sure that we have been able to address the challenge of overflooding every year.
The GLOMEF CEO, which was an NGO based in Sunyani, used the opportunity to advise citizens against indiscriminate dumping of waste without thinking of the repercussions in future relating to devastating effect among loss of lives. He recommended that government should protect wetlands, green vegetations near Ramsar sites, and invest in modern drainage systems capable of holding rainfall volume while strengthening cooperation and collaboration among institutions such as NADMO, Security Services, Meteorological Department.
Now, in terms of citizens, we have a responsibility. How can you throw waste into gutters? Why do you have to dump indiscriminately without thinking about tomorrow what can happen if there is flooding? And at the end of the day, we, the ordinary citizen, who suffers? Let me ask you, how many of the politicians in this country suffer the flood that happened recently? How many of them? Ask yourself, how many of them? Is the ordinary citizen, that market woman, that petty trader, that farmer, those who have their structures not properly built. Yesterday I was watching one guy that his 2 cars and the structure that he built for his family, they were all washed away during the flooding. So it's the citizen who suffers most, not the politicians. So I'm taking this opportunity to appeal to the citizens in general that we must make sure that wherever we are, in terms of sanitation and waste management, we need to be careful how we handle those issues.
Mr. Ahenu also mentioned about government to adopt resilient infrastructure tenant to address the issue of climate change to prevent negative environment matters such as flood, waste management, sanitation, among others.
So as a GLOMEF, we are developing a project which is called Community Waste Management Program to tackle waste management at the community level, together with district assemblies and then local government authorities, community leaders, and then traditional authorities, so that we can have a proper ways of waste disposal and management in order to address some of these recurrent flooding in this country. Looking at innovative way of managing waste within system. So we are studying other countries. How do they manage their waste? As we said, some countries waste can use to generate energy for the people. So in Sunyani is not a big city. Sunyani doesn't have any industrial hub. So what it means is that when it comes to energy consumption, we have a low energy consumption. We can use the waste that we are generating in Sunyani to produce energy to serve Sunyani as a city. These are modern way of managing waste. In fact, some years back, we were in the process of getting some funding to establish a waste management plant that we can use to generate funding. We look for land within the Sunyani municipality. But in the process, at a point in time, our donor withdrew from the process. So that stopped what we were doing at that time. So we are still working on it that there is the need for us as a country, those institutions responsible for waste management like district assemblies, municipal and metropolitan assemblies, NADMO, Ghana Meteorological Agencies. There is the need for effective collaboration among these institutions. Now, when it comes to the district assemblies and the municipal metropolitan assembly, they give permit to people to build. But the question we are asking is that, do they follow the planning, the building regulations within the assemblies? The answer is big no. And the assembly also will always go ahead and give them the permit without making sure that they follow the building regulations. So the assemblies should make sure that before they give out permit, they should go and inspect the land. Is the land wetland or waterway? Then if the land is a wetland or waterway, then definitely the assembly shouldn't go ahead and give permit to that developer to go and develop the wetland or the waterway. So that is what we are expecting from the assemblies. They must make sure that they enforce the building regulations within their assemblies.
Thanks for watching.
Now, when it comes to the traditional authorities and individuals who sell land to developers, we are pleading with the traditional authorities to make sure that within their jurisdictions, nobody sells land, wetland, waterways to a developer to develop. They should play a watchdog role by going around within their cities and towns to ensure that nobody is building within waterways and wetlands. And those who do that, they must hold them accountable. They must be punished so that it will serve as a deterrent to others. And as I said earlier, citizens, we have a responsibility. If you are an individual developer, don't go and buy land where wetlands, waterways that we are coming to develop. Don't do that. At the end of the day, the landowner will collect his money.
Reporting Megina Kwesi Sunyani.